I was writing this blog and I wanted to share it with you guys with a video instead because it started to get a little lengthy and I figured the video would be just a little bit better of an approach. And the title was going to be, Why Do I Challenge You? Stretch what you're capable of and take your mind and body to uncomfortable places at times. And the reason is because I care about you. I care enough about you to not only make you a healthier human, but to make you a more formidable one who will better be able to face the adversities that life is unrelenting going to present to us. Because I know that a workout or training is our training grounds. It is where we can push ourselves, we can learn, we can grow, we can face difficult situations and with others, and we can face these moments and lean into these challenges that are not only physical, they're mental, they're emotional, they're spiritual, and they're going to provide the ultimate growth and the readiness for life outside the gym. Because life doesn't get easier, the goal is for us to become more adaptable. Now, we are in the middle of preparing for a hero workout named Witten, and it has stirred up quite a bit of talk. And if I'm honest, a lot of what feels like nervousness or fear or things of that nature. And yesterday I was having a discussion with one of our members about today's week 3 progression, the peak progression in difficulty. And they were sharing their previous mental challenges with me that they experienced last week and the week prior. And here are some of the things that I caught in terms of that had come out of the conversation. One of the things they said was, I come in with the expectation to do the workout as it's written. And if I can't, I feel disappointed in myself. They also said last week in progression week 2, I got time capped. I didn't even finish the workout. And this week is supposed to be harder. I was just going to skip and not come. That one shocked me. And the last thing that I kind of wrote down here was I thought I was starting slow. We were talking about pacing. I thought I was starting slow. I was almost the last one out the door in round 1, but I still got out of breath and I had to, do a set of 5 burpees, rest, do a set of 5 burpees, rest, and I still ended up getting time capped. These were just some of the things that I was able to recall from our conversation. And these are not, unique to this individual's thinking. This is all of us at times. So I wanted to share some of the things that I had a conversation with them about and provide them here because I know it's not unique to them. The goal is not always to come into the gym and do the workout as prescribed. That's not the goal actually at all. We provide a stimulus that then can be customized, tweaked, adjusted per individual in the group setting. That's what's beautiful about group, and that's what we work really hard for at Railroad is this inclusive fitness. Now, if we're attaching those expectations, that's our ego. As the programmer, there's a lot of responsibility that I take in not only getting everyone stronger, healthier, you name it, more flexible, looking at the year as a whole and taking time off from certain movements to give the joints a break and all research, you name it, look better, all of these things. But I also must stretch what you're capable of, what you think you're capable of. And there's the mental fortitude, the mental resilience that I know will absolutely transfer over to real life. That's a part of the job too. And if every workout had 10 reps or less, or did it challenge you in certain ways, you would never grow and stretch what you're mentally capable of. Your fitness would be limited, absolutely limited, because if we went outside that window, we would get just wrecked. And that's not real life. That's not transferable over to real life. So when it comes to a conditioning workout, and this is why we have a system at our whiteboard brief in terms of we go over stimulus, then we cover target range, we cover how to pace, and then we talk about adjustments, and we do it in that order. And I teach coaches worldwide, that's how you brief a workout. And that's something that we created at Railroad, because that's so important, because we're not after doing it RX. We don't use that language. We're not after doing it as prescribed. This is the intention. This is what we're after. And here's the target range we're aiming to do that in. And here's how we pace that. And here are the paces we're looking for today. And then our brain should already be thinking, is that realistic for me? With my current fitness abilities, capabilities, and things of that nature. And if you already are starting to create doubt in what's said to what is laid out, we need to begin thinking, I need to pay attention to those adjustments, because this workout is for me, not for anybody else. Okay. On that, one last thing on that, if you have to make adjustments or tweaks or customizations, that does not mean that you are unworthy, you're a failure, you're any less than your peers or anything of that nature. That's the ego trapping us into an expectation, or a defined expectation of what I should do. Lose your shoulds. Stop shooting all over yourself. What I used to be able to do. A lot of us who have experience, 4 or 5 plus years, we live in this, I used to be able to, okay? Lose that as well. And worse is when you compare yourself to what others are doing and should do. Everyone's journey is extremely different and unique. And that comes down to pacing too. It's a mistake to pace yourself off of other people within workouts. Yes, you can use it as like friendly competition or anything like that. But if you're using it as like, that's where I should be, you're setting yourself up to fail. Okay. Rid yourself of all of these things to truly be successful, not only in the gym, but out of the gym, and focus on what is the stimulus, achieving that, the target range, and customizing the workout for you, because it's for you. You can do it around other people in a group environment, and it doesn't have to fit what's out there. It is my job to set the bar high at times for us to shoot for, to potentially hit sometimes, potentially not hit, because I have to stretch and move the community. That comes with movements, that comes with loading, that comes with reps, you name it, all of that. But then we have to factor in this other side of the coin. Where are you at in your fitness journey? What does your lifestyle reflect outside of the gym? And here's a little pivot. A lot of people can get in the habit of coming not as frequent as they want. Once a week, they miss a week, periodically, whatever that may look like. Diet or nutrition outside the gym isn't optimal. Maybe we've slipped off of what we should be eating. We're eating, not quite in balance of 80-20 or 90-10, very healthy things to not so great things, stress, sleep, all of these things. And then we come in and we want to do these difficult things, and then we get trapped in our headspace on expectations and things like that. So lifestyle, everything outside of the gym severely impacts what goes on in the gym, So, there's something to be said about that. Let's go to kind of some of the things that were pinpointed here. Last week in progression 2, I got time capped. I didn't even finish the workout. And this week's supposed to be harder, and I was just going to skip coming. This to me was such a metaphor for life outside the gym. And man, by the end of the conversation, this individual was like, I'm so glad we had this conversation. I'll see you tomorrow for the workout, which I loved. And I even took the opportunity within this to say, this is like, I'm so glad, because at the end of the conversation, this is not a metaphor. This is a metaphor for life. When things get hard, whether that's in your relationship, work, a friendship, XYZ, are you just going to check out? That's not how things get better. That's not how we get better. And I'm so glad we had dialogue and communication. That's the step to progress. So the fact that someone was not going to come because they got time capped, which in their mind they created this emotional feeling from, it just means that those movements, and we dissected it, which we'll break down in a second, there were things there that piled up, and that stimulus, we didn't want to exceed 30 minutes last week, and that's okay. We got a lot of work done in that 30 minutes, and we look at it as like pass or fail versus what did I achieve in that time frame. And then I said, a workout is proving grounds for learning. What did you learn? And they looked like they were scratching their head. And I said, well, let's talk about some things. Did you start the workout in the wrong gear? It's a 30-minute workout. And that was when they said, I thought I was going slow. I was almost the last one out the door. But as soon as I got to the burpees, I was still out of breath and I had to do them in sets of 5 with rest. And I said, well, there's a wrong thinking too, is to compare yourself to others out the door. Well, what if people are doing less reps? What if they're making adjustments? What if they're swinging to eye level, not overhead? What if there's step ups? Like, it's all different. You can't compare yourself to the field. It's your gear. You know your gear. I said, it's a 30-minute workout. And if you hit that first round in 5th gear, which I saw a lot of people do, you're punished in rounds 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then it becomes this overwhelming hard thing. That's why fitness and workouts are always grounds for learning and about movements and the combinations of things. All of that, so critical. And I said, okay, let's talk about the burpees. You said you did 5 and rested. Well, you did that across 5 rounds. You probably lost minutes in resting. So you were hitting an interval format. You're hitting 15 burpees in this go hard for 5, rest for maybe 20 seconds, go hard for 5. Well, that adds up to a minute per round. That's 4 or 5 minutes right there. Versus what if we slowed our gear down and we just did all those burpees at a similar pace? So we had the wrong gear to start the workout, and we had a flawed strategy, or a strategy that wasn't optimal to do the pacing for our burpees. We look right there. We can adjust strategy, okay? Going even further, the shoulds. I should be able to do the workout, or it's intimidating to me to see the evolution of it. You don't have to do the workout as it's evolving that way. It's the stimulus, and maybe for you, the workout isn't the 22s with the 400, but it's the 15s with the 400 or 15s with the 300, because the goal is to get you an amazing workout that's challenging, that stretches you, that grows you, and to make improvements. Some people will be like, well, can I do the wall balls in sets of 10? It's like, you can do that, but sometimes that's not the goal. We want to stretch what we're capable of. We want to shoot for 15. We want to shoot for 22 unbroken. We want to stretch these things. And I said to this individual, there's a thing within a workout of being workout flexible, okay? And that is, you meet a workout and it's way harder than you expect, okay? Lose all expectations and find the places within the workout, stay steadfast within your mind to say, okay, this is a little harder than I expected it to be. I need to be a little flexible of my self-expectations in my mind, and I need to find the places where I can push and the places where I can recover a little bit, because it's always learning. And I wanted to share, some of those snippets here, and maybe not so much in the blog format because it could have gotten really long. But man, how powerful, okay? So, maybe some big takeaways are giving yourself grace that training is always the place where we're seeking to grow. Lose your expectations of where you think you are, you should be, especially to other people, and go in with the mentality of, again, even a flexible target range. There's not if I finish under the time cap, I'm successful, and if I got time capped, I'm failed. That's disempowered thinking. And if you do end up getting time capped in a workout, okay, where was I extremely stretched and challenged? Was what led to that? Was it the combination? Was it the reps? Was it the strategy? Was it the gear? The gear thing is big. I think a lot of people don't understand that there's no one gear for every workout. A 30-minute workout has an entirely different gear than a 3-minute sprint workout. Yet we can approach a 30-minute workout because the music hits and the 10 seconds and the hype and where other people are. None of that matters. It's living within your own gear. I got done with the workout last week, and a couple individuals were like, that looked like it didn't even faze you. And little do they know the mental battle I was going through the entire 20 plus minutes in my head to challenge myself, whether it was as soon as I was getting ready to finish the burpees, okay, 5 seconds to transition to wall balls. And then get done with the wall balls, and it's like, okay, I need a sip of water. I'm gonna take a sip of water on the way back to the kettlebell swings. And man, I'm really, when I say hurting, I don't mean physically, I mean like, whew, this is tough. But the inner dialogue, that's a whole other conversation of what are you saying to yourself when those things get hard. And I was sharing again with this individual, man, I really felt challenged going from the swing to the jump. And that's where I had my sunglasses in my hand because I know I was going to go outside and run. So here I am jumping, and I put them in my hand, and I'm, rep 1, 2. And by 2, I'm like, this feels weird with jumping in my hand, and I'm really out of breath, and my hamstrings feel blown up. And I put them on my head. I'm like, okay, like they're not going to fall off. And I'm like, slow your cadence down here, because I know the hardest part was the jump into the run for myself. And the run didn't even feel like the best either. And even just on the run, okay, focus on your breathing, get to that cone out there, okay, get inside. And in your mind, when you get to the door, the next step is getting to that box. And then when you get to that box, you're going to drop down and you're going to begin chipping away at your 15 burpees. And in the mind too, it's like, okay, get to 5, and it's just this dialogue. And yes, that demon creeps up to say, oh my gosh, you have 4 more rounds, or this is so difficult, or you're already out of breath. And it's the battle within those workouts to kind of overcome that, to say, okay, like take 5 seconds. Okay, hands on the wall ball. And, when coach comes around, they're like, okay, hey, push your heels down. Okay, that's another reinforcement. Good. Like when a coach gives you a cue or reinforcement, it's to help make the workout easier. It's a cue because maybe you're on your toes, or maybe you're letting the wall ball drop, if we're talking about a wall ball specifically. They're giving you a cue. It doesn't mean you're doing something necessarily wrong and take it to heart, to say they're trying to help me make this easier for me, because if you're more efficient, then you expend less energy. Thus, you're not wasting energy, which is very costly, especially in a longer workout. But a lot of this comes down to mindset and mentality. Ditch your expectations, ditch your shoulds, ditch your comparisons. Go in, what is the stimulus, what is the target range, and learn about yourself. If you, if you don't know if I'm capable of certain things, is it a day to try to learn? And you can use previous data. Like if this week's 22s and last week you were unable to go unbroken in the kettlebell swings of 15, well, maybe we stay at 15s this week and we work on building that. If you were able to go unbroken, well, stretch yourself. Same thing with the wall balls, like the bookend of weightlifting movements, kettlebell swings and wall balls, like the stretching of trying to do those movements unbroken this week in interval format can really rattle people's minds. Well, you don't know until you get in there and you try. And again, winning the inner battle of dialogue. So this workout, I'm so glad we're doing this progression, and it's stirring up good conversation. A lot of the inner dialogue is what's coming out to be, and winning that dialogue. And I hope, from this, people take away what this individual did too, and they're going to show up today, and they're going to have a better workout, and they're going to become better because they showed up. So just a little takeaway, just some nuggets here for as we progress through difficulty. This is not some of these harder workouts, some of these harder progressions. They're not limited to fitness. There's going to be so much growth mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that's going to transfer over to our everyday lives. And how do you want your best self to show up to that? That's my question to you.